Hi. In this video, I'm going to show you a very simple visualization that you can do with your kids that sets a boundary with them. Okay? So I used to do this with my kids all the time, and they liked it. They understood it. Okay? And that's what you want. You want your kids to understand the boundaries you're putting in place with them because they're kids, and your job is to help them feel safe. So here's the visual. I make a little box, okay? And I say to them, my job as a parent is to keep you safe. One of the ways I do that is I expand and contract the box depending on how you show up. So what do I mean by that? So if I expand the boundary, meaning I expand your responsibilities because you're telling me that I can, and then you bump around in that box, that expanded box with like no flashlight and no lights on, then guess what? My job is to contract the box. And contracting the box means taking away some of the privileges I gave you when I expanded the box. So what's a real world example of that? Okay, well, let's say I expand the box by my children would like some more privileges, like maybe they get a phone at 12 years old, okay? Or they get an iPad at 14 years old. I mean, they have their computer to do their homework on. An iPad is an extracurricular thing, okay? Or like a new video game might be an extracurricular thing. Or getting a phone at 12 is, you know, a more grown-up thing. They're, you know, heading into middle school. So I have expanded the boundary with that new privilege. But if they're in that boundary, as I said, bumping around, not doing the chores that they've been given. So for instance, let's say my 12-year-old gets a phone, okay? And then in the negotiation with them, I say, okay, with this phone comes some new chores, okay? Like keeping your room neat once a week, or taking the trash out, you know, every other day. If I see them not do those new chores, then obviously I have expanded the boundary out too far. So now I contract the boundary and they give me back the phone. Maybe they only get the phone, for instance, during school days because they need to call me when to come and pick them up. Okay, remember, if you're going to contract a boundary, you don't want to contract it on yourself. Okay, you get it? If you're going to restrict your child, you don't necessarily want to restrict yourself at the same time. If your child gets a consequence, it doesn't necessarily mean you get a consequence because of that. So maybe that phone only gets to be used between Monday and Friday, and then on the weekends, they don't get to have it. That's me contracting the boundary. Now, if they start showing up by taking out the trash every other day or by cleaning their room every week, okay, as asked, then guess what? If they do that over a period of time, let's say, I don't know, a month, 2 weeks, maybe a month, then I'll expand the boundary and they get to have their phone for 7 days a week as opposed to just 5. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, enough said. Bye.